Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sounder. The Sounder created out of the Sounder of Lady Hoggers. My name is Molly from the Copper Penny Farm, and I got my beautiful friends over there as always as Laura twirls her ponytail around. Say
Yep.
hello, friends.
Hey. So I am Laura Jensen. I'm the pig nerd. About the time we hit record, I was like, I'm too hot. So I had to redo my hair. So there we go. So what am I doing here? Down in the store, we're getting our feet back under us. Remember last week I was talking about how we had to kind of reorganize. So we had to put that federal thing on pause for a week, and that's okay because we had the vac sealer that was down. There was just a lot going on. So we start back with that tomorrow. I've got my first Mayshawn's coming in that will, for reals, be here to do the federal license. So the struggle has been how to get the bacon and the hams here in a time frame that I can get the hams in the cure, because you cannot let hams go, really the fresher the better, but you can't push hams into the next week or they rot in the middle. And
Yeah,
big loss. Anyhow, so that's happening tomorrow. We've got probably a big sale coming up. Everybody down there largely is doing good. The person that was managing the store is taking over pretty much the whole operation, and it's such a cool thing to see her grow. And she started here feeding pigs, so
oh,
kind
that's
of fun.
good.
Yeah. In pig nerd land, as far as breeding stock, I am growing my breeding herd. We're going to go back to probably five-ish boars and sows. I have a lot of customers that have reached out and they want pigs from me and just my stock. And Molly, I know we've kind of talked about that some
Yeah,
too. Cool thing. So we're gonna ramp up there a little bit, and hopefully that will help us get into the show ring as well. In association news, it looks like there's probably going to be some emails going out to membership for genetic testing, which is an exciting thing, and a big, ugly, hairy, long-legged spider at the same time.
yeah, it is. It's a mess.
It is.
There's a lot of things that will start to arise when you start genetic testing.
Yes. And so we're looking at it. I don't want to get too far ahead without talking to membership, but essentially, the two kinds are parentage and then purity, I
Yeah,
think it is. And so those are two very different pathways. And one is easy and established, and one is not so much really. So
yeah,
anyhow, I'll keep y'all posted on that. Personally, we're just trying to get organized. We have been moving so fast over the last 3 years that there's a lot of clutter in our everyday life. So my office has been not really remodeled, just cleaned up, straightened, organized. The kitchen upstairs has, so we can film. And then this weekend, Bill and I are going to work on getting some antiques out of here to make room for the furniture we want now. So that's it in
yeah.
a nutshell for me. Amanda, how are you with your beautiful curls today?
I'm Amanda Buck with Buck Family Ranch. And yes, my hair is curly this morning because I had to go to a county commissioners meeting with our planning and zoning request. So a couple weeks ago, we had our planning and zoning meeting with the planning and zoning commissioners, and they approved our request and made a recommendation that we be able to rezone to Ag 10. We did not realize that it had to then go before the county commissioners. So we had that meeting this morning, and thankfully they approved it. Not quite as eagerly as planning and zoning did, but it's okay. It still got approved. So we are good to go there. That's a big relief. Beyond that, let's see. We have been dealing with some extreme cold lately.
Yeah.
So starting last week, we have basically had wind chills in the negative 30s to negative 40s every day. So we have not been out of the single digits in several days. And yeah, it's just been
But
chilly. We've been no,
the cherries look like they're doing good though.
they are. They are thriving. They have zero issue. And yeah, we've had a couple inches of snow. They're calling for like 3 or 4 more inches of snow tonight. And the churros are doing great. I think my main concern has just been don't let them lamb on these nights that are so
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah. But I
we
think you
did,
got your jugs and stuff out there.
yes, and we worked on Sunday. We went ahead and did the CD&T vaccine, and then got them dewormed. We're behind on CD&T. We should have done it. I didn't realize this because we're new to sheep. Should have done it several months ago. So we're
Yeah.
probably gonna have to vaccinate the lambs after they're here, but it'll be fine. Yeah. But while we were working them, I of course had to feel them up a little bit, and we've definitely got some decent bags going. So
yeah, yeah,
colostrum is in production. So I'm glad. We weren't totally sure if Deo, our ram, job or not. He's a young ram, and so we were kind of like, I sure hope he's done it, because I've witnessed him frolicking, but I haven't actually witnessed him doing the business. So
yeah.
We are anticipating lambs, and pretty soon. Beyond that,
And remember to strip your teats when you see they've had babies, just in case.
Strip them, as in get the plug out.
Yeah.
We will do that if they'll let us here. That's the other thing with churros, is they're not, even if they're around you all the time, they're not typically. We have a couple that'll come up to us, but most of them are pretty wild, and it's because of them being a heritage breed, and they dodge predators. They view us as kind of not one of them, so they try to stay away. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's most of what we've got going on. We also, with our homeschooling, have decided to kind of take a different route here lately. We have in the past always ordered like a complete curriculum from a homeschool curriculum provider, and we just kind of realized that wasn't working as well for us anymore. Some of the stuff, especially Dash is in 4th grade, and some of the stuff that they are pushing is stuff that it's not practical, and I don't think he needs to know it in 4th grade, like writing an essay and being an excellent writer. That will come in time. I'm not going to force him to do it now. And there were several other things too, like diagramming sentences, which I don't think is practical. Anyways, so we're kind of changing up our homeschool routine a little bit and doing a lot more like reading and developing a love for learning through reading. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it's exciting.
Lots of life skills and things like that. I've told them, like, I feel like it's more important for them to know how to survive and thrive versus knowing how to diagram a sentence.
Yeah.
Yep. I've never needed that. Just
no,
saying.
Dude, my English, like, my English is so bad. Like, when I write, you know what I mean? Like, it's so deconstructed, but who cares?
Right? Yeah. I just, we'll work on that at a later time. But for the time being in elementary school, I just want them to learn to love to learn. So,
yeah.
Okay. That's what we've got going on. What about you, Molly?
Oh my God. Well, I don't have the cold like you're getting, but it's still colder than what we usually get here.
Yeah, this Arctic blast.
Oh my God. So like, I've been letting my hogs survive and thrive on their own. I put out no bedding, and people have shit on me for that, but I put out no bedding. My hogs are in the woods, and they're doing what they do. And but I did move some piglets. I got to move some piglets down that I weaned, and I put them in a trailer. And I had to fight. I said, I've never in my life did I think that the toughest fight I would ever fight would be with the tarp. A fucking tarp whooped my ass so bad. I was like, what in the God blessed is going on? So I had to get a tarp over that trailer, and like it's like 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Oh wow. And a big tarp.
It was an 18-by-24 tarp.
Yeah, that's tough with one person.
Oh my God. And I had to climb on top of the trailer, and I'm like, this is how I die. This right here. So like, no, it's just been, it's supposed to get down to like the negatives starting tomorrow. And so I put some tarps up like on my farrowing barn, but I'm just trying to, either they'll make it or they won't,
Mhm.
trying to see what these hogs are made of.
Yeah, well, mine are cream puffs, so they have all the round bells and all that, and we're probably
Oh
gonna
yeah.
get zero.
Well,
Which
that's the thing is, I started off, like super just all natural. You know what I mean? They were hogs, and then I really cushioned them, and I put out their bedding, and I cleaned it, and I put up heat lamps, and I did all this stuff, and everybody had a spot, and now that I'm by myself down there, it's kind of hard to do every single thing.
sure.
So I went back to the natural way, and so far, everybody's doing well. And like I told you guys, I mean, I had a boar that was gone for so long, month or more, and he had been living in the mountain by himself. Found him. I thought the motherfucker was dead.
That's a
But
testament.
yeah, but and it goes to, I say I got nature's true hogs, and I truly do. You know.
Mhm.
I truly do. But anyways, it's just like trying to deal with the cold, and I got to build fires and stuff now because I don't have heat, at my place.
Mm.
I don't have a heat pump or AC or nothing. So my heat is just wood.
Wow.
So it's been, getting that together and everything. So it's just been a lot of just my own survival, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hunker down.
Hunker down, and start next month. I got the most litters I've ever had. I'll be having 17 litters starting next month. So we'll see how that goes.
You're gonna look like that chick. I think we said that last week. Our drawing.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. But the thing is like it's a real test for my farm, and it's a real test for my hogs. Because I'm not going to be out there 24/7 like I used to be. I'm going to let my hogs do what they do, and improve themselves, and that's what I have to do for my own survival on my farm. Being by myself, I don't have time to sit with 17 mommies all night long anymore.
Right. Well, and you can't survive the day. You can't work and work the farm like that. And I had to get to that to a large degree, that you have to realize nature's nature, and being there doesn't always make the difference. So
I've saved a lot, by being there. I saved a first time gilt. I did have to pull 2 piglets on her. I saved her. I've saved little babies, but at the same time, all them babies that I saved, I've kept as pets.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well, and for me, I can't function and do all the other things I have to do if I'm up all night with piglets. And it's, it's a hard choice, and some would call us cruel for it, but the reality is that's the way it's got to be for me.
well, and I've reached the point where, I am a one income home now.
Mhm.
And so I have to do other things.
Mhm.
I have to work at the vet's office now. Like, I can't just take days off. I have to go to work.
Mhm.
I've got to work on my books. I've got to work on this because I got to make money,
Mhm.
Right.
for my survival. And so I don't have all that time that I used to have, because now I'm on the grind. I got to survive.
Mhm. And survive you will, and thrive is just around the corner.
That's right, buddy. That's right. It's coming. It's coming.
It is.
You
It
know.
is for sure.
But anyways, I rambled on long enough. So one thing that I do want to point out, and we got to do this, and it's so exciting for us, and I hope that people saw our post, is we have been chosen.
Yes, we have been booked. Our first booking is in. Yes, yes, yes. You got the details?
Do you got the details?
I do. All right, y'all. So September 28th this fall in Fountain Inn, South Carolina, which is up in that little tri-state area, North Carolina, South Carolina, all that stuff. We have been booked for the first Back to Roots gathering hosted by Barefoot Acres. The three of us will be there all day, 9 to 5. We'll do a podcast. Now, the technical side, I don't know if we can pull off recording it, but we are gonna at least host a podcast while we're there. We're gonna sit at a table as they want us to and ask the expert table during the day. And then I will be giving a Maishon talk in terms of the Maishon Breeders Association, because Jody Prosser, who is our contact there, she is also a Maishon person. So they've got some registered stock. They just went on the breeder locator there. So Barefoot Acres is our host. Back to Roots Gathering, September 28th. Tickets, we'll get some information on that on our next recording, and we hope that everyone will come see us.
Yes, I know we talk about this almost every episode after we get done, but I am so fucking proud of us.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Me too. Me too. This little random idea of Molly following her heart has turned into a beautiful thing that I love. I love meeting with you ladies and the folks that we've connected with on the podcast.
Yeah. I'm super excited, and I think, the event really touches home to what we're trying to do. It's not just about the empower. We started off, Lady Hogger, everything like that, the empowerment of women in agriculture, specifically in hogs. But we have evolved so much that it is an uplift for us as women doing what we're doing, but it's also, we've come to realize we have more men listeners than we do women at this point.
I like that.
And we've evolved, and I think that it is a great thing for us to be able to be part of something that connects with what we're trying to do. And it's just the sustainability, the chasing your dream of your farm, and nature at its best. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Jump in, Amanda, because I can say some more things. Go.
I was just gonna say, I think it's so exciting because this is an event that's going to focus on learning new skills and doing things naturally, and just having a good time fellowshipping with our community. And I feel like that's what I'm looking forward to, is just being able to, I'm not a mingler, but I am looking forward to mingling with our community.
Yeah. Jody and Troy are the husband and wife team that are hosting it. They've got some other amazing folks coming in and helping them, but it's been really exciting. Their language is, building our community, and that's who they are. That's who we are. How they market products. I was talking to Troy last week. They're all about understanding that you need to build your local connection now. You need to build your local community now, and that couldn't be more in line with what we talk about here.
Yeah. So September the 28th, which is my dad's birthday, which is right after my birthday, which is right near Scout's birthday.
Yes.
Wow. How do we celebrate all that?
We just put on a good fucking show, man.
Let's do it. Yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
Definitely. I'm not much of a mingler either, so I probably won't talk much.
Oh yeah, you're not social at all.
Right.
I mean, everybody knows that about you.
No, I think it's fantastic, but it is. I'm super proud of us, and I do hope that people come out to see us, and if we can record it, people watching and everything, because to see us grow just makes my heart feel so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's been our biggest month. Haven't we had over 8,000 views in a month through whole views? So yeah.
Yes. I'm super proud of it. We've grown, we haven't even been out a year yet.
No, we haven't. And really, we haven't advertised or marketed ourselves in ways that we could. We've kind of got some private groups here and there, and word of mouth, and friends and family. So we'll have a marketing program this year. Yes,
I think that with what little we've done, I think that it has been fantastic. Could you imagine if we did start marketing, what we could do?
I can, and we will.
We will. All right. So just to reiterate, it's September the 28th in Fountain Inn, South Carolina. Yep. Back to Roots Gathering at Barefoot Acres.
Yep.
I hope everybody can come out and join us, because it is about community. and we'll see what we ramble on with.
There you go.
All right. So now that we've done that, let's get into our topic for today.
Let's roll.
All righty. So, Amanda sent a video to me and you, Laura, the other day, and it was basically kind of like a tinfoil hat about ticks.
Mm-hmm.
And the tick.
It was, because the guy had a hoodie on and it was just like this.
He did. Yeah. But watching that video about the ticks really triggered a lot of things to me, because there are a lot of things going on with ticks that people don't realize, and then, as always, we always take the string and we keep on connecting the dots, and it can connect to a lot of things. Yeah. So let's talk about the ticks, which ticks are so fucking gross.
Right? I don't know anybody that likes ticks. I mean,
like,
bad.
You ever get it? Like, when I get a tick on me, I feel like I have 100 on me.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. I do too. The worst is when you get into a tick nest and there's like.
You sound like you've been there. I'm so sorry.
No, my dog came home one time, and I swear we picked off like 30 some ticks off of my dog.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyways, all right. So Amanda, let's get into the video. So the video was talking about a conspiracy, a thought, or whatever, about ticks and alpha. What is it?
Alpha gal.
Yeah. So go ahead, Amanda.
So basically, the video was this guy, just like Molly said, who pointed out a conspiracy theory that was floating around about the Pentagon weaponizing ticks, like using them as a bioweapon, and how it's just interesting that there's now, I can't remember, it's like a certain amino protein type thing that when you get bit by certain ticks, specifically the Lone Star tick, that can now cause issues with this alpha gal thing. And the alpha gal is basically, what it does is it causes a major allergic reaction to red meats. So whether that is beef, lamb, and even pork. So it makes it so that people really can eat chicken if you want to eat an animal protein. So that's what's floating around. And basically the House of Representatives I looked into it because it was kind of like, okay, this may be a conspiracy theory, but let's see what truth there is behind it, right? So the video also mentioned that in 2019, there was a big, like, you could see stuff all about this online. You can Google it and find it. In 2019, the House of Representatives told the Pentagon that they had to tell them whether they had been doing bioweapon experiments and things like this with ticks in between 1950 and 1975, which I know is a long time ago. But when you look for the Pentagon response on this, you find nothing. Nothing. I looked and couldn't find anything on a Pentagon response, which I would think, why wouldn't they respond? Why wouldn't you be able to find that anywhere? It was like everything just kind of went silent after that. Well, since that, I feel like we have seen a major upswing in this alpha gal. We know people who've been affected by it. We have seen a major upswing in Lyme disease. And we've also seen upswings in some bloodborne illnesses caused by ticks in livestock. Yeah. So it's just, even though this started out as a conspiracy theory, it's kind of like, well, but there's truth to it.
Yeah.
Right. Y'all both know people that are experiencing these things. This is not just something we saw online. This is some real life problems going on here that aren't being talked about.
Yeah, it is. Like I was telling you guys, there is a woman in our group, Angie, and she has been selling meat. She sells meat. She has a market and everything. So beef, pork, chicken, all this. And she's been eating it her whole life. And then all of a sudden, she started getting super sick. And she goes to the doctor. They tell her that she's gotten this alpha, whatever, this allergy sensitivity, and now she can't eat any red meat.
That would shatter me with all my other food allergies. I wouldn't handle that well. I need to take a week off and cry.
Yeah, but it's bizarre to me. It is bizarre to me that, when you look at the control of our food, and now you see these things that are making us, now so many people are getting allergies to all of this stuff, especially meat. Everybody's getting these allergies on meat, and now there are legit illnesses in like it's basically in cattle, but Tyleria that's affecting Tyleria and putting off cattle. Like, it's just bizarre to me that now it's like another attack on our food chain, especially on beef and red meats, pork and everything.
Well, it's because they are growing lab grown chicken.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild to me. And I think that, like, some of the things I've seen, okay, to counterbalance this conspiracy theory,
yeah,
is that it's because more people are getting out into the environment that ticks would live in. I've also seen things about it being because of global warming, ticks they're able to survive our mild winters and are doing so well. Well, I can find arguments for both of those things. People have been out in nature for forever.
I mean, since the creation.
Yes, for forever. And then secondly, with the whole global warming thing, I'm sorry, it was negative 30 something here this morning.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't buy that.
Well, and so, I know that I was like, I'm leaving it to y'all. I didn't really pull any articles, but as y'all were talking there, it ran across my mind, is there an increase in alpha-gal from tick-borne illnesses? And so here it is, July 27th, 2023. Stat News says that from 2017 to 2021, there was a 41% increase in alpha-gal. Now, the number is still insanely low compared to the population. I do feel obligated to say that. 17 was 13,000 people and 21 was 18,800. So it's still a low number, but it would be interesting to see what's happened in the last 2 years as well. But it certainly supports our theory that, it's on the rise. Tick-borne illnesses are definitely on the rise. And then the cattle thing. I mean, what?
Yeah. So, like, for the Tyleria, so it comes from ticks as well, and it's a wild thing. So it literally it causes them to waste away. There is no vaccine, there is no cure, but it causes them to waste away, and it basically just deteriorates everything. And like I was telling y'all before, we have necropsied cows that have died from it, cut them open, and no blood.
I don't understand that. I guess maybe I need to ask Mr. Science. That is just bizarro. That's like almost like some aliens came to visit kind of stuff, right? I mean,
yeah. But this really
chupacabra.
Wow, there you go. That's what it is. Chupacabras.
yeah, but it's like it's the new age chupacabra. But in all reality, though, and I told you guys this, I was like, so it really didn't start happening, and it may just be coincidence, but it really didn't start happening until all this stuff started coming out when COVID hit.
Isn't that interesting?
And then you look at, we brought this up earlier too, about the mosquito farms.
Mm-hmm. And like I said,
that Bill Gates owns.
Who in the hell needs a mosquito farm? To me, there is never a valid reason to farm mosquitoes. I hate those little bastards. I mean, why would you do that?
But mosquitoes and ticks are connected because it's to deal with our blood.
Yeah. Well, there's that. There's the true thinking about taking care of us and, healthy and looking out for each other. And then there's the government, I guess. Well, I don't know.
Also interesting that ticks and mosquitoes are both like bloodborne type things. And then the vax is mRNA.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Like, what are they trying to do? And I mean, you, I feel like people can look at conversations like this and just say, you're being paranoid. There's no truth to this. You are way out there with your thinking. But I don't think it's crazy. It's also interesting that in 1969, Nixon banned like using bioweapons and stuff.
Yeah.
But even if he banned that, I had not done research to see if any of that has been reversed or if that's kind of been swept under the rug. And that also doesn't mean that there wouldn't be people in the private sector who aren't still working on developing bioweapons.
And then there's two words they love to use: plausible deniability for the president. Let's not forget that. Bill and I were watching an alien show, because again, they've said pretty much they're out there. And after I think it was around the Nixon age that the general idea is that presidents just aren't briefed because they'll either do damage or they need that deniability. Interesting idea.
Yeah.
Well, it's just so many things. Like we talk about this all the time, the control factor of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much and it always comes back to our food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the best way to control us? If it's not food, it is through our health.
Yeah.
Socialized medicine would be the next
Yeah.
best way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I mean they go hand in hand, we all know that. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we were talking about this too, like if you get Lyme, you always test positive for Lyme, that it's in you.
Yeah.
It's not, you're forever altered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I know before we got on here, I kind of mentioned too, in all the research that I've been doing about parasites, I see very common threads for both Lyme disease and MS, linking it to being those symptoms and things that you're experiencing being caused by parasites. And I know that's a very big claim. And I am not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just putting it out there. That's some of the things I found in the research that I've been doing on this. And it's just interesting how when people are using certain parasite protocols to rid themselves of parasites, how the symptoms they are experiencing from Lyme and MS become nearly non-existent.
Yeah.
Or non-existent altogether.
Hmm.
And those are obviously people's experiences who have been willing to go out and follow a different path compared to standard treatment for those things. And just like I mentioned before, it also just matters where you place your faith. Like if you're going to place your faith in modern medicine, which there's a time and a place for, that's great. But if you think that you want to pursue other things, there's probably other paths you can take. So it's, which to me, when you think about it, okay, a tick is 100% a parasite.
Yeah.
And it gives you a bloodborne illness. You can get bloodborne illnesses. Why wouldn't that be parasitic?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, you treat, so you treat your livestock and stuff with ivermectin, porons, whatever, to prevent parasites, which they're supposed to prevent getting ticks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's interesting. Just like you said earlier, with getting our string out and trying to connect dots. And I don't know. I feel like this one kind of like, how I think it was last week you felt mind blown almost on the protest stuff. I feel that way about this week's episode, where it's just like my mind is going a mile in a minute. Like, what all is this connected to? What is the connection here? What's going on? And I think it's because I just naturally question things and I naturally look for answers. And I don't know, it just seems really odd to me. When I was a child, I only knew of one person with Lyme disease. And now as an adult, I feel like Lyme disease is much more prevalent. And alpha gal thing I had never heard of until just in these last couple of years. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Something is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, the part that worries me the most is if information was scrubbed on the internet. That's one of our last frontiers that we can go out and find information if we want to. We're in the middle of what do we want to watch next. We just finished binge watching one of our favorite series again. And I'd wanted to go watch the real story of Timu, that thing that's on everybody's Facebook feed. And while we were watching the series, it was, this story about who they really are and what they're really doing, and America needs to know. And that was 3 weeks ago. It's nowhere to be found now. All
Yeah.
that has been removed. And so I find it interesting at the thought that even the internet is very much so controlled, much like I believe our news media is as well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's a real conflict for me. That's a real struggle.
But I mean, I'm going to take this to a whole nother thing, and then we can get back.
Do it.
But I always find it so bizarre how things like this can be, I mean, just fucking disappear, right?
Mhm.
Not a trace of it. But they can't get rid of child porn. They can't get rid of sex trafficking. They can't get rid of all of these back pages. They can't get rid of that.
All the real evil in the world.
Yes. They can't get rid of all the real evil, but they're going to get rid of fucking injecting pics.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, this is probably a great time to say that we are not here to treat, diagnose, or tell anybody what they should do with their own health and their own choices. These are simply our opinions and are not meant to circumvent medical advice.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
Sad that we need to say that, but I don't have time to fight that. So there it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not telling you at all what to do.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
But, we were talking, you go back to ticks or parasites, and then we talked about, parasites in general. And Amanda even said it too, like, working at the vet's office, we get a sick animal in. The first thing we always ask, when were they last wormed, or when did you last give a parasite control?
Mhm.
We always go to the parasite.
Mhm.
And because they can wreak so much havoc on your body,
Mhm.
and you don't even know it that you have it.
Well, so one of the number one, there's like a top 5 of what a parasite, like overabundance of parasites, the top 5 symptoms, right? One
Yeah.
of the top 5 is developing a new allergy to something.
Yeah.
There's that. There's skin issues is another big
Yeah.
one. Look, we'll have issues with eczema, psoriasis, like things that would typically be more of like an autoimmune can also be caused by parasites.
Yeah.
Like a heavy load of parasites, I should say. So, but I think about that and it's like, okay, developing new allergies. Like there's certain things that, okay, you all of a sudden out of the blue are developing an allergy to red meat. You've never had an issue with this before, and you've been bitten by a parasite.
Yeah.
Now, I know
too simple.
I'm not a doctor, and I'm sure it's much more complicated than that. But I think I would probably deworm myself.
Right? I mean, I do. I do that. I think I probably need to add a second one. I'm only using one of them. But I mean, it when I get down with the crud, when I've had the C word, that stuff that starts with I, man, it turns it around. It makes it break up and go away within moments.
Dude,
Yeah.
I've never dewormed myself.
Oh, you should. You
I would
absolutely.
probably shit out worms like a dog.
Oh God. Woo, boy, we're having the great talk today between ticks and turds.
No, it is. It is. No, I've never dewormed myself. But I've always thought about it, and then I'm like, I don't know if I want to know what's in my body.
So,
Exactly.
I grew up with livestock. I've had livestock most of my adult life, and I've always wondered why aren't people deworming? I mean, honestly,
Mhm.
before all this, before COVID hit, if it matters that much to livestock and the people in Ethiopia use it all the time, why wouldn't we need it too? And I guess that's played out.
Well, we've talked about this, when Amanda was talking about her kids having worms coming out their butt.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we don't think about ourselves as creatures as well.
Right.
One of the closest animals to us is pigs.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we don't think about it in that way, at what we're doing to keep them healthy and keep them alive. But when you look,
What was that? Something coming to get you?
sorry, freaking rednecks, woo woo.
Yeah.
Anyways, blowing that smoke. Anyways, so we don't think about it, but at the same time, working at the vet's office, I have seen so many antibiotics, medications, everything like that for animals that really is beneficial to humans. We're just not allowed to do it.
Well, supposedly everything starts in the vet world, and I don't know that. I've just got a friend that has always said that. If you look at things like Coflex, vet wrap, it started as that. She says that the pills that you push and they break in half started with large animal pills. So I'd like to think that, but as we know, nothing's that simple ever anymore.
No, but why would they, they don't want you to use veterinary medicine when you're going to have to pay a pharmaceutical company
Mhm.
a shit ton more.
Mhm.
Well, and I think that's what it is too, is that there are certain medications that are commonly used in other countries for certain things that cannot be patented because they've been around for forever. And if they can't be patented, then a pharmaceutical company can't make money off of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're
But
trying to do and to say this is not safe, you should not be doing it, when really, I mean, just like you said, there are things that can be very beneficial to humans. It's just very frowned upon.
yeah. But I think though that it's just wild when you start looking into it, like the ticks and the mosquitoes and all this stuff that's being tested, that we can get bit by mosquitoes and you never see it.
Mhm.
You get ticks on you, you don't even know it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like it's the best weapon that there is.
Mhm. If they want to turn us in the food supply, yeah, it would seem that way, wouldn't it?
And it is, control on our food. Look at what they're doing to our vegetation, to our grain. Look what they're doing to our, now our meats are there's all the fake meat and all that shit coming out now. And now people are getting allergic to meat
That's what
right
I.
when fake meat is taken off.
So can alpha gal folks eat fake meat? That's
Would it
strict
make it?
close, really too close dots, right? I mean, on the board of
Yeah.
connect.
How could you eat? Okay, if you're allergic to the real meat, right? But fake meat is supposed to be spawned from actual cells, right?
In
Mm-hmm.
some cases, I don't know about all cases, but yes, some
Yeah.
cases.
What was the laser meat that somebody posted the other day?
The laser printed meat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is that?
I don't know, other than gross.
Oh yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Essentially 3D printed steaks is what it was.
Weird.
Mind
Y'all's faces.
In it makes me think of that movie with it's got Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock
Yeah.
and oh, what movie? What is that called? I can't think of it.
I'll look it up, but I've thought about that often where they eliminate rage or something like that.
All these different things, and it's like everything is virtual and people don't have sex, they just sit next to each other and virtual do it. I don't like weird stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's happening now.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we're living in that
People have virtual sex now.
I think that's been going on since the phone's been working, Molly.
It has.
I feel like this is the point where, if you have seen Dumb and Dumber, this is the point where I say, our birds' heads are falling off.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going on right now. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna bug me. I gotta know the name of that movie now.
Oh, I can't think of it.
We started off with ticks, and now we're talking about freaking phone sex. You know,
virtual reality.
We live in a virtual reality, really.
Back in 2005, so I'm getting there. Was
Oh,
not Hook Floats.
No. Wasn't that one? It was not that one.
Unforgivable, wasn't Oceans, wasn't Bird Box. Golly, she's been in a lot of things. Gosh, this was pre Blindside too, wasn't it?
Yeah, she
Yes.
was one of the movies, I feel like. It's just wild to me. Like,
The Magic, love that movie.
I cannot. We're living in a time where they're coming up with laser printed food.
Demolition Man?
I think it is Demolition Man, actually.
A police officer, yep, is brought out of suspended animation in prison to pursue an old ultraviolet nemesis. Yep, that's who it is, Demolition Man.
Yeah, that was actually on they had the TVs and stuff playing at the bowling alley, and that was on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you heard the conspiracy theory that they show us what's coming?
Oh yeah, that movies are simply what's really happening or what's coming at us.
Out to happen? There you go.
There is no original idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Want to take a guess when this movie came out? Do a little fun.
I'm gonna say it came out in 90.
Kinda. What you got, Amanda?
I was gonna say 94.
1993. Y'all were pretty close.
But okay, I know we're getting way off subject here, but it's just like in what is the rap song talks about blowing up the world trade? It's Notorious B.I.G. Anyways, it's wild to me that it, just like you all said, they put things out there, you know what I mean, that are supposed to happen. Movies, whatever it is.
Yeah, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they get their info. Anyhow, we're going way down a rabbit hole, y'all.
We are going way down a rabbit hole, but it's pretty cool. But anyways, so getting back to this, getting back to the ticks, right? The thing is, though, is one other thing I wanted to say too. When we get, so there's like meningeal worms. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
They like sheep and goats get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a parasite that gets into their spinal cord, moves up to their brain, because the spinal fluid going to the brain. Anyways, most of the time they don't. But the first thing that we do to them is we give them double doses of parasite control.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's the heavy treatment. Yeah.
Yeah, you give them a heavy treatment of it. But anyways, going back to the ticks and stuff, I just think that when you think about the ticks and you think about the mosquitoes and everything like that, like, it makes me wonder truly if that came to the surface, right? And I'm going way down a hole, but truly, what the fuck is going on? Because look at our water system.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I've seen videos of whistleblowers who were like responsible for pouring tons of fluoride into people's water, like into public water systems and stuff. I've watched whistleblower videos. Now, I feel like, as you were saying, what you find on the internet, can you trust it or not? I don't know. But
yeah,
I think that if some of this stuff really did come to light, it would be interesting. And I say that not to be like, it would be entertaining, but it would just, I don't know. It's like, what would we do with that information? What would we do differently? And even if even if it's not true, it is true that there is a rise in alpha gal. It is true that there is a rise in Lyme's disease. So what can we do to be more preventative from being affected by things like that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy
You
some
know?
guineas.
Yeah.
I know not
What'd you
everybody
say?
can do that, but I think I may add guineas to the farm.
Yeah,
Why
buy
not?
some to eat ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think, and I mean, I think too, I know that using DE is kind of controversial because of how it can affect airways and stuff, but I don't know. I think sometimes being able to treat certain areas with DE, maybe that could help be effective. I don't know. What else can you do other than slather yourself down in DEET,
yeah.
which
Well,
I don't want to
but
do.
a lot of people say now like that usually you have off seasons, right? You have off seasons of ticks, you have the off season of mosquitoes, those little nasty stinky ladybug looking things. Like
Mm-hmm.
but see, and it's cold as shit right now, and I still got stink bugs and those little ladybugs in my house.
We had a
Wow.
ladybug yesterday. As
Yeah.
cold as here. We had a ladybug yesterday.
So, and people are like, well, this is, it's an off season for ticks, is what, because I was telling somebody that we were going to talk about ticks. And they're like, well, yeah, but it's cold out. And I'm like, no, there is still issues because we just sent off a bunch of cattle that got bit by ticks now.
Yeah. Didn't you say you did 17? You sent off 17 last.
Yes. Yeah. And 16 of them come back positive for a Tyleria.
What a loss.
Yeah.
So, and it's from ticks. So it's like they're not dying off like they did.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and you can go ahead.
That's where the global warming argument is coming from. Like we're having much more mild winters and stuff. When I think that weather, it's like patterns,
Yes.
That's why to have a farmer's almanac, or that's why they studied it and were able to see the patterns that would happen. I don't buy into global warming. I don't judge anybody who does, but I personally don't buy into it. I don't think that's why ticks and things like that are becoming more resistant, because I'm not seeing global warming. We have some years that are warmer, some years that are colder.
Well, you got to look at places like there's places down in Tennessee right now that don't get snow, that are getting blasted.
Yeah.
Texas getting blasted.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I mean?
Yeah, we have family in Texas, and yesterday it was 17 degrees there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of places that are getting blasted by the cold. We had that cold snap 2 years ago here where it was like negative 37 wind chills down here. That's when I had them babies. They froze to the fucking floor.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. We just keep on, we could go on and on and on and on about it. But one thing that I don't think that, I can't tell you what to do, but I do think that people do need to take more, put more effort into the parasite control of their herd, of their animals, of yourself, if you want to, because there is a lot of things out there, because we look at it too. We talk about organic. Well, organic is not organic anymore. People are like, you can feed your animals pumpkins and it gets rid of parasites. People say if sheep and goat eat pine needles, they don't get parasites. Like, no. And we could do a whole episode on that too. But, with what is going on, I think that we do need to come up with some type of more of an effort and protocol to try to prevent that. And the only way that I can think that you can do it is with a stricter protocol for your parasite control.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that if you are going out into areas where you know that ticks could be, making sure that you are wearing clothing that can help defend against them. And I mean, like doing it so that your socks are up over your pants and, stuff like that to not give them access to your, and just being really thorough at checking for ticks and things after you've been in an area where they live.
Yeah. And if you're like me and you got a rat's nest for hair, it's kind of a disaster. I've been straightening my hair so much like here lately, you know,
Mhm.
and I quit doing it. Like the other day, I just let it go, and then I was like, my God, what a head full of hair I have, you know. But anyways, well, we talked about poop and ticks and virtual reality sex. I think we hit it all today.
I think we're good for this week.
I think we are good. So, how about y'all? Oh, what? And just a reminder, September 28th, Fountain Inn, South Carolina, Back to Roots gathering. The fucking founder is going to be there, and I'm so excited.
That's right.
All right, so how about y'all go feed them damn hogs and them churros?
All right, then.
Sounds.
All right,
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.